Hello YouTube family, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jerry and I'm living the Newcomb life. Today's video is going to be very special. My daughter Jenna is going to show me how to make one of her most requested desserts, and that's going to be Mountain Dew cake. If you guys have never had Mountain Dew cake before, it is absolutely fantastic, moist, delicious, the whole 9 yards. But Jenna's going to show us how it's done.
Alright, Dad, let's show you how to get this started. Alright, Dad, so to get started, I typically do my liquids first before I do anything else. I like to whip them and get some air in them. I feel like that kind of helps to get the cake have a little bit more of an airy consistency. So with that, I usually like to do my 1 egg at a time first, just to get the yolks and everything incorporated. Don't forget to push this up. Next I do a 1/2 cup of oil. Half a cup of water. You can do a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, but I typically measure with my heart and kind of just pour in how much I want. Now for the star. This is also a 1/2 cup. This recipe is pretty simple. Everything is about the same. It's 4 eggs and a 1/2 cup of each of your liquids. Might as well do a little splash. Once you've made a cake for so long that you'll typically know the consistency of what you want. So I've noticed if I add a little bit of an extra liquid in there, so typically I'll add a little bit more Mountain Dew, it'll bring out some of that lemon flavor a little bit more. So I usually do a splash after I put in my 1/2 cup. And while this mixes and kind of gets some air in it, I'm going to mix my dry ingredients. See how it's gotten all of this bubble and air put into it? That's how I typically know about when it's done, because I can see all of the air into it. So now I'll typically just have it stop and I'll put all of my dry ingredients in. And here you need the instant French vanilla pudding. It adds a nice moist texture into the actual cake itself. And you do 2 of those. I like to incorporate my dry ingredients together beforehand, so that way I don't feel like I get any clumps. And then last, you can do any type of cake. I have found that this one seems to be the best that I particularly like. I've done it with a regular vanilla cake. I've done it with a butter cake. My actual recipe calls for a butter cake. I liked that, but I felt like for me it wasn't the flavor that I wanted. This one helps to not add any of that like buttery taste. It adds more, it helps to incorporate that lemon taste a little bit more. And you can also just do your regular vanilla cake mix from scratch. That one will take you a little bit of extra time, but if you have the time and that's how you want to do it, that's a better alternative as well. Now I'm just trying to incorporate all of the dry ingredients so everything is mixed properly. And there are no clumps. Okay, now that everything is pretty well incorporated, I like to add in a little bit at a time. I usually do about a quart of the first time. And this one you don't want to push all the air out, so you don't want to put it on too high of a mix. Okay, now I'll add a little bit more. Now I'll dump in the rest. All right. So as it starts to incorporate, the flour will go up the sides where the liquids have gone around. So I'm just going to scrape down those sides to make sure all the flour incorporates, or cake mix incorporates. Now that that's all incorporated, I like to let most of the batter drip off of this, and while that happens, I'll go ahead and get my stone set up. You want to use a Bundt pan. I have also turned it into cupcakes. You just lengthen or shorten the amount of time with cupcakes until you can stick either a toothpick in it or a cake tester and it comes out clean. So typically that's about 12 to 15 minutes for the cupcake version. For this one, this is a stone or a typical pan. You can do that with an aluminum one or a glass one. I have seen a couple of different types. And this goes for about 50 to 55 minutes in a 325-degree oven. With this, you can either do oil. I have rubbed it down in oil, or I have also done it with Pam. You can do your baking one, which will have flour in it. You can do a butter one. You can do an olive oil one, whichever one you prefer. That's kind of the easy part of it. And with that, this one has flour in it just to help with sticking and anything like that. And you just want to make sure you have the entire thing coated. And if you feel like you have too much, you can always go through with a paper towel and get the excess on, because otherwise it will pool at the bottom. But honestly, that doesn't really hinder it a whole lot. Okay, once you have about as much as you can get off, now I just like to double check to make sure all of my flour at the very bottom of my bowl has been incorporated. So I'll go around and scrape all of the sides and the bottom just to make sure, because depending on your mixer, sometimes it doesn't all incorporate. And this also helps just to help with the scraping process into your pan or your cupcake tin or anything like that. From here, just I'm going to dump it in. Try to be careful because it will do that, and sometimes it'll fling itself around the pan and get on your counters and in areas that will burn. Alright, I think that's about good for now. I'm just going to clean off my spoon and then I'll pop it into the oven. I like to sometimes tap it if you can with a stone. I'm a little bit more afraid, so I usually just try to smooth it out a little bit. And then I'll pop it in my 325-degree oven from 50 to 55 minutes. Make sure your rack is in the middle. Anytime you bake, you want to have your rack in the middle of your oven so everything cooks evenly. And then I'll set my timer. I'll do it for 50 to start, and if I need to, I'll add the extra 5. Alright, now we're going to test it. It is not done because it is not closed. So it needs to go in for 5 more minutes. Nice and clean. And now we're going to put it on the where we're going to have it set. And once we get that on there, we're going to let it cool for 15 to 20 minutes. Perfect. All right, it's cooled for 20 minutes. I think it's time for a taste test.
Somebody say taste test! It's not cut yet. Gotta be quicker than that. Are you tasting too?
Absolutely.
Thanks, sir. It's rolling away.
All right. What do you think?
Mmm.
Wow, it's real flaky.
Yeah, it's really light. With the like crisp on the outside.
It's crispy on the outside. It's got that very mild crunch,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really moist.
And just
inside.
fluffy and soft on the inside.
Yep.
Wow.
That's the benefit of the pudding
Mm.
that's in it.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like Mountain Dew.
No.
It tastes more like the pudding,
Yeah.
I think.
I always say it tastes like a yellow Fruit Loop. It's got
A
a
yellow
hint
Fruit
of
Loop.
hint of lemon.
Yeah. Yeah, that lemon lime, but
Yep,
it's
it does. Yeah, yeah,
it's
you're
just
right.
the sugars that I get a lot of.
Yeah.
Wow, that was really good. Can I get another piece?
You gotta save room for dinner.
Yeah. So guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're up to date on all of our upcoming videos. And one of the best ways that you guys can help us is to share this video on all of your social media platforms. But thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you on the next one.
Bye.
All right, I'm going to get another piece.